Hello, today I'm going to be showing you my custom-made Spiritborn Diablo 4 build. To start, we're going to be getting Withering Fist and upgrading it to Fist of the Forest. This allows us to gain a barrier, and this is very helpful, especially when you're in boss fights and fighting elites. After that, get Poison Duration and Healing, and Poison Duration will really help. I'll explain this later in the video. And we're going to be upgrading this to about, I would say, 10. After that, get Stinger and upgrade it to Potion Sting, because this makes you around you looks cool and it's very effective. After this, get Size Bonus. This is very helpful in big packs because you don't have to spam it as much just to kill an exhaustive vigor. After that, get Healing and Vulnerable because, well, I cannot stress to you guys how much healing is important, and I will tell you why later in the video. We're going to be upgrading this to a flat 15, very helpful. After that, Toxic Skin is very important, especially when you upgrade to Fiery Sword, because this, it's going to act as a passive, and usually there's always one passive at least in a build, and this is going to be our passive. And if you do a Vigor generation, Vigor is very important, especially with Stinger when you have to spam it. And healing again, I'll explain to you later in the video. And we're going to be skipping the defensive skills and going straight to the potency skills. We're going to be getting Touch of Death because this basically infects them. And, well, basically we're going to be upgrading it to Erupting Swarm, and going to be getting that to Healing and Additional Charge. This will basically creating it into like an area effect and AoE damage, which is very helpful, especially against bosses. Then Additional Charge is going to give us additional charge, helpful against bosses and stuff. And then healing is very important. Like, I've been into situations with almost 0 health, and this build has saved me countless times. After that, get Razor Wings, and I'm going to make this into a kind of spammy build actually, but this is what's really going to help it, because if you're going to get refund charges, it'll basically allow us to spam it if we're in a big group, and movement speed. And then what makes it, what actually wants me to get refund charges is Flock of the Feathers, which basically is just a cheat code now. After that, get the Devour and upgrade that to Sky and Soil. If we get Poisoning Duration, we can literally every single skill except for Razor Wings is going to be using that. And if we get Healing is very important, especially when you're going into boss fights. To start, we have these two correct things, and then we're going to be getting this to 9, very important. Skip this, put this to about 5, and then try to get this to at least 13. And if you have any left, put it in Toxic Skin, because this makes all, passive and active way more powerful. Okay, so how we're going to be doing this is basically we are going to be going into fights using Withering Fist and basically teleporting over there using Stinger, and this will mostly clear it. I actually have Wolves which basically freezes them, and that allows me to use Stinger. And then if you're in a big pack, you can use Toxic Skin. I don't really use it though in a big pack, only when I need it. And then Razor Wings, you can spam that. Boss fights, elites, big packs, always helpful. And then Touch of Death well, you can use this a lot, especially with 2 charges and against boss and stuff. Very helpful. And then for the Devourer, well, only use like boss fights or when you need it, because this is more going to be our supporter, and this should complete your build to create a pretty nice build. Okay, so don't get Swarm of Swarms, because this uses way too much vigor and just really annoying. Okay, so now for gear. Okay, I have a ton of great gear, and like this, you can actually find a lot of good gear. So basically, I'm using this for the Summon Wolf Companion. Pretty much, I will always be using this. I usually have a stack that I can use whenever I want. I could put it in my pole arm, but I don't really use it, and this is pretty solid. My toughness is actually really high. My weapon damage, that's really bad. My weapon damage is pretty bad. But with all this, I don't need it to be good. I just need to have just a lot of damage going on. So basically, you don't need any of these. You don't need any legendaries, but you do need the Summon Wolf Companion, because that is very, very important. I cannot stress how important that is. And actually, you can find some legendaries if you go to the weapons. There's none right here, but sometimes in stack delivery you can find a weapon. I would not buy from here unless there's actually like legendary. And then, okay, so well, basically, I would do some tempering. You can do some forging, but that's more to the end game. But tempering is very helpful. I don't have any tempering, and yeah, I don't have any tempering, so that's not very needed for me. But for some of you guys in the earlier levels, this will be very helpful. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment for more. Bye.